So the police are going to be knocking on people's doors, potentially arresting them for using a dodgy fire stick. Seems to be the news this week.
Seriously, this country's such a fucking rip-off. Just come into Burger King, yeah? 12 quid for a burger, a bottle of water and some fucking chips. Take me back to Asia, mate. It's a fucking joke, ain't it? 12 quid for some fucking... When did they put that up? When I've only been away 5 months? Unbelievable, isn't it? Stinky rip-off Britain. I'm going to leave this place one day, mate, forever. For the beautiful beaches of Asia and the hills of heaven. Fucking rip-off.
Just bought a packet of walnut whips. Is it me, or is everything getting dearer and smaller? There's a tennis ball to compare the size. Not only they're taking the nut off the top, they are taking the piss.
It's getting really expensive to live in London now. I mean, even a place like this is £600 a month. Shocking.
Do you remember when these things used to be £1.99? Do you know how much I've just paid for one of these? £4.19 for a Happy Meal. Honestly, I'm gobsmacked. Like, it's definitely going to be a treat from now on McDonald's, because £4.19 for that is an absolute joke. Yeah, £1.99 was probably many years ago, but still, rip off.
So these are things just don't make sense to me at all. Road tax. Why am I paying tax to go on the road? It's a free country.
Guys, right, I've just been to the shop to buy a tin of corned beef. This. Guess how much?
Right guys, Monday morning, just come to do a key cut like that. £9 for one key. £9.
Okay, talking about Ripoff Britain now, right? Just bought these 4 John West tuna chunks, cans of tuna, obviously. Look at that. It looks quite big there. Wait. Like, I picked them up and I thought they were a deal, but that's 125 grams. Each one, so they're not actually a deal, are they? It's another case of Ripoff Britain. Ripoff Britain, eh? It's my own fault for not checking this microscopic can of tuna that came as a pack like that. But never mind. Never mind.
I've no more fucks to give, my fucks have run up dry. I tried to go fuck shopping, but there's no fucks left to buy. I've no more fucks to give, no more fucks I've tried to get. I'm over my fuck budget and I'm now in fucking debt.
€1 each, glass of wine, pint of Estrella, less than a quid. You're taking the piss. Take a look at this. Right guys, so here we are, we're in Benidorm at the famous Uncle Ron's Cap. We came to book in for the breakfast challenge. How could we refuse? Less than a quid. Less than a quid. See what they're like. This is Estrella. You know what? That's better than any pint you get in the UK. You ain't paying 5 or 6 quid. Less than a quid. Yeah, you heard me right. It ain't broke. Less than a quid. Now, if you bring your bird out, cheap night out, cheap day out, whatever you want. Glass of wine, you can have white, red or rosé. Julie likes a bit of white. Again, less than a quid. That is banging. That is banging. You and your missus can get pissed up for less than 20 quid. Take her home, sort her out, job done.
Okay, so I'm just coming on to discuss TV licence in the UK. What a joke. Like, we are having to pay for all the TV subscriptions. I mean, I pay for Netflix, I pay for my Amazon Prime, I get Prime Video. I'm paying for all these different TV services in order to watch what they've got to offer. But then you've got to pay for a TV licence to watch it on. I'm sorry, but rip off Britain, right? I don't understand it. Like, I cannot comprehend how the UK can charge you to use your TV when you're already being charged for the programmes you're going to watch on it. I mean, I'm not doing it no more. I'm cancelling my TV licence and they can take me to court. The only reason, if you want to go by TV licence rules, is the only reason I even need to pay for a TV licence is because my son watches YouTube shorts and stuff. And in order to watch them, you've got to have a TV licence. I don't watch live TV. I never have. I just watch documentaries.
I welcome you all to Blighty Blighted, your daily reminder that the United Kingdom has turned into one big rip-off. I'm not even joking anymore. Everything, and I mean everything, feels like it's having a go at your wallet. You wake up, check your bank balance and think, right, what's taking a chunk today then? Bills, food, transport, subscriptions you forgot you had. It's like death by 1,000 charges. And the worst part is not even subtle anymore. They don't pick your pocket. They invoice you for it. Supermarkets with their offers that aren't offers. Energy companies with prices that go up faster than they come down. Services that cost more and deliver less. You pay premium prices for, average at best. It reminds me of that old show, Little Britain. I used to think it was exaggerated, silly, over the top, but now it feels more like a documentary because the absurdity is real now. You pay to park, to travel, to sit down, to stand still. Probably next. And people are fed up, not just annoyed, properly fed up. It's the feeling that no matter what you do, you're being overcharged somewhere along the line.
Now, I know my posts are quite doom and gloom recently, but I'm about to show you the best video on the internet, and I think I'm the first creator on this app to show you it. It is amazing. Make sure you sing along. It's so good.
Pushed him through despite the warning signs. He fed me stories about his Epstein past. I swallowed every bit like a gullible twat. Now the vetting truth is blown up in my face. Feed me, feed me, feed me lies. Feed me lies, feed me sweet brittle lies. Feed me lies, feed me, feed me lies. Oh no, no, the scandal's way too big. You can't disguise, no, you can't disguise. Feed me lies, tell me sweet brittle lies. Though the victims want some real accounting here, I hope you voters give me one more chance. I sat the wanker when the papers hit. Tried to act all tough and in control, my dears, but my excuses sound like total fucking arse.
Kira. You're welcome. And if you got this far, make sure you follow me, because I bring you the news stories that the social mainstream media won't show you.
£4.69 for a tin of corned beef. That's ridiculous. Now, I remember in the 90s, this was probably the cheapest meat you could buy. I don't know, probably about £2 a tin or something, I don't know. But for that price now, and they don't even put it on the shelf, they put it behind the counter in the shop because people are nicking it. So, How much is spam? You know what I mean? Absolute rip-off. Can't believe it. I've had my pants pulled down with that. £4.69. What a joke. Anyway, that's my mum for the day.
I don't care. Out of principle, I'm not paying that. I'm going to spend the whole day looking around for a cheaper place. I'm sure Asda do it. They do it for about £4 or £5. Out of principle, I'm not paying £9 to get a key cup. The end.
Good evening, how are we all? Hope you're doing well. I thought I'd quickly jump on after my moan yesterday about the paper bags. Lots of people commenting on that. I thought I'd have another one. I think I'm gonna become that grumpy old man. This is a duo. It's a duo. It's the size of a normal double decker. What's going on? It's half the size that it used to be. What is going on? £1.50. £1.50. What are we doing? Rip off Britain. Rip off Britain. It's tiny. It's tiny. It's tiny. It used to be double that size. We're going to have plenty more of them, I think. Plenty more moans are coming.
Just in Costa now, trying to get a drink. I'm having to rant at prices again. That's a £6.20 sandwich, that. The toast is at £5.90. I can get a full meal for that. I might somewhere.
TV licence. Why am I paying to watch telly? I've already bought my TV. I pay for my subscriptions, whatever else. Why have I then got to pay for a fucking TV licence to fund the BBC that I don't even watch? Right? Paying taxes, okay? Wait. But then buying stuff and paying tax on that as well. Why am I doing both? Why am I doing any of it? If I'm working my fucking ass off, slogging my ass off, right, why does then the government get to take 40% of my income? Please tell me that. It's my fucking money, I work for it.
Now, of course, it is a criminal offence if you're using a jailbreak Fire Stick to access content to which you've got to pay for. But sometimes these stories go around in kind of like a batch. A few weeks ago, we had a story that the Irish court had ordered Revolut Bank to disclose the details of, I think, 300 people in relation to who they suspected were using dodgy Fire Sticks. What happens with that, I don't know. But sometimes these stories get pushed out because on a purely practical police level, how enforceable or feasible is it to go round to people's addresses? Because some people will pay in cash. Of course, some people will do bank transfers. But in those situations, they've then got to go to the court to potentially get the banks to disclose information, which again takes time and effort. Now, of course, as I said, they wanted to, and they know the details, you can knock on the door. But previously we've seen them going after the individuals who are distributing or making money off the back of it. But whether this new targeted campaign in the press this week means they're actually going to do it, you don't know. But as I said, if you are using one, it is a criminal offence. And if the police knock on your door and prove evidence of it, then technically you have committed a criminal offence if they can show that it's accessing content on there, which could result in you being arrested, taken to court, given a fine. But I think the police might take a view at the start that it would be knocking on the door, cease and desist notices to try and put people off. But as I said, these stories tend to go around to try and put the fear into people that the police are cracking down on it. And they might be.
I'm curious about something. I've got two vehicles, a motor car and a motorbike. And I have to take that car and motorbike every year to be MOT'd. And part of that MOT is emissions. And each time they have passed their emissions. So how the hell can, once the government has got a standard that is set for each vehicle to be qualified to drive on the roads, to which I also pay tax on those vehicles,
and insurance to insure myself to drive on those vehicles, but basically tax to drive on the roads and an emissions test that says that my car's emissions are legal to drive on the road. How the hell can bloody Khan be doing these ULEZ charges? Anyone that's got a ULEZ charge against them, if your vehicle's MOT'd, the government, in my eyes, has already said to you that it's completely legal to drive on the road with those emissions. So how can he then say, right, your car's putting emissions in this area, so I'm going to charge you more money for it? The government's already said you're legally allowed to do that. So how can he then charge you more for emissions that have already been granted as legal by the government? If I'm missing something, then please put it in the comments. I'm open to education, but I honestly think if I went into one of those areas and tried getting charged for emissions charges on a vehicle that has already got a certificate that says I am legally allowed to drive that vehicle on the roads in the UK, paid tax, insurance, I don't get it. I really don't get it. If anyone can educate me on it, tell me what's going on, please feel free to throw it in the comments. Beyond me.
TV News has learned there's been an alarming surge in council tax arrears in England, with hundreds of thousands of households being referred to bailiffs as a result. We sent freedom of information requests to around 100 councils in England. The responses show the total amount owed in council tax has increased by over 70% in just 5 years. 85% of councils reported an increase in arrears last year.
Shocker.
And just last year, more than 1 million people received a court summons because they were in council tax arrears, with almost 600,000 referred to bailiffs, and that's an average of one referral every minute. Well, it's led to calls from debt campaigners for households to prioritise council tax payments above everything else.
I mean, Stevie Wonder saw this one coming. Bury people financially and then cry that you don't get your money. That's like going on the beach all day, getting sunburnt and then crying about it, but you didn't put sun cream on. I mean, how fucking stupid are these people? Where do you expect people to get the money from? I said this months ago, people can't afford bills. So because you put the council tax up and they're not paying you, that doesn't mean that they're not paying you because they don't want to. That means they're not paying you because they've not got the fucking money. Fucking morons. I mean, the bit at the end as well, they're going to make it the number one payment. It has to be above everything else. Because the councils are bankrupt, you see.
Well, I'm flabbergasted. This morning my boiler packed up. I had the engineer out, told me it was a gas valve. So he's turned all my gas off, turned my boiler off, getting a new part. But this is how much the energy companies are trying to rip you off. So let me give you a second, I'll just turn it round. So on here, it's saying, I can get it in there, that I'm using 14 kilowatts of gas per hour. Now explain to me how that is even possible. Because I'm not using any gas, I've got no boiler on, no heating on, not using any hot water because I ain't got none. But yet I'm using 14 kilowatts an hour of gas. I think the energy companies might want to reconsider what they're doing to rip people off.
Right, folks, New Age Rabsy Nesbitt here. Look, I am a lunch, still in scumdy. Now, look at those things. Ginsters. Creamy chicken slice. 100% British chicken. That's probably came from England, so it's probably shite. But actually, it's quite nice, by the way. But you know what? This is what my rant's about. You see us, ginsters, do you see it? See it, ladies and gentlemen. £2.45 for one bloody well slice. I mean, bloody hell, wait till you see the size of this. Wait a minute, open this bastard. Look. Shush. Look at the size of that. That's ridiculous. £2.45 for a ginster. Well, I will tell you this, boy. It's prices like I gets right in my nipple end. So it is. Ripoff Britain. Get it right up here.
So the budget is round the corner, and it's a chance for our government to pressure us for every bit of money they can get out of us. You just need to work a little bit harder. You know, the working class. You need to work harder, do a bit more overtime, even though you can't afford a holiday now and you can't afford to pay your bills. And there's like no incentive in working full time when somebody on benefits is just laughing and they're on more money than us. Where is the incentive to fucking work? Where's the incentive to pay your bills, your mortgage, have savings? I mean, through my dad's experience, he's worked his ass off his whole entire life. He was a self-employed milkman. Come rain or shine, he went out. He had savings, he paid his bill, he paid his taxes, yeah? He got vascular dementia in 2025. Diagnosed him, basically took all his savings, we had to sell his house to pay for his care. Yet somebody was sat in the same care home as my dad, never worked a day in their life, benefits the whole time, and they're in the same place. Make fucking sense. There's no incentive to pay off your mortgage or fuck all. Try to rinse every penny they can get out of the working class. It's soul destroying, it's sucking the life out of people. People want a bit of positivity. They want to see the light at the end of the tunnel. But all they do is it's doom and gloom. I'm going to put your bills up. They reward the wrong people. The ones that sit on their asses. And the ones that work their asses off get shafted. It's backwards, it's wrong, and it needs to stop now.
Just when I thought this country couldn't get any more of a rip-off or any more fucked up, you got to listen to this, right? So, I lost my mum really recently, and she suffered from dementia, and she would ask for her mum and her dad a lot. Well, my grandma died in childbirth. And we knew she was buried, but we never found the grave. Anyway, I found it. Found the grave. So we want to scatter my mum's ashes at her mum's grave. That's what we want to do after my mum's been cremated, right? Seems simple enough, right? So my dad went to see the gravestone, and you know, it was really good service. Someone met him there and then took him to where the grave was, and my dad explained what our thinking was to scatter some of my mum's ashes with their mum, right? And he said, "Oh, you can't do that. No, you can't do that." No, because the plot of land that the grave's on, back in the day, they didn't pay. The family didn't pay for it. That was a normal thing, apparently. So if you want to change anything, including scattering someone's ashes, you would have to buy the plot of land, £1,330. And then you can scatter the ashes. Are you having a fucking laugh? I mean, I just can't believe this fucking country. It's all about money. You know, even in death, you got to pay for the death certificate. You got to pay for, you know, scattering ashes. Do you know what? I cannot wait to leave this fucking shithole. It is a fucking pile of steaming cow dung, this fucking country. Now I know why I fucking left when I was fucking 18 years old, right? For the majority of my adult life. It just disgusts me, you know? If you do something, you'll be fine. Well, it's getting done. Let me put it that way. It's getting done.
Just got this year's council tax bill, and honestly, I'm raging, and I knew I was going to be raging. We get 2 months off a year, right, where we don't have to pay council tax. We are paying council tax. It's just spread over 10 months rather than 12, right? Don't go fooling yourself. But we've had a 4.8% increase in council tax. An increase in what we have to pay, but a decrease in the services that we're going to receive, because we live in Ripoff Britain. I'm absolutely sick of it. I'm not surprised. I've been waiting for this. I've been waiting for the council tax letters, and it's just filled us with more rage. The country is on its arse. Yeah? We'll pay more, we'll get less. We'll pay more, we'll get less. Pay more, get less. Honestly, I am so wound up. People can't afford to put food... People can't afford to put food in the bellies. They can't afford to heat the house. But they have to pay more council tax, because if you don't pay your council tax, you go to prison. Honestly, this country is messed up. I wouldn't mind paying more. I wouldn't mind paying more if the services that we got were to a decent standard. Down here in London, yeah? Especially the borough of Croydon, load of rubbish. Honestly, it's a load of rubbish. The place is scruffy, it's filthy, the crime levels are high, you can't even get your bins emptied, right? You're paying more for emergency services, I know that, but apparently you wait about 6 hours for an ambulance these days and then you're left on the floor of a corridor, yeah? Corridor in a hospital. That's what we're paying for, guys, that's what we're paying for. Honestly, this country sucks big buttholes and I'm sick of it. Anyway, I'm off to calm down.
We're a rip-off, alright, no problem there. Black cabs don't surge, that's one thing. Uber do like a surge. Uber tend to try and charge you more if they're picking up from a station or going to an airport, but that's okay. We just charge you whatever's on the meter. We never set the meter. TfL set the meter. We have no say in the meter. I turn it on, I turn it off. That's my only control over it. The sort of character you are, fella, you let yourself be shown yesterday when a woman was commenting and you told her to have a look at her boat race and she would be okay. That tells me everything I need to know about you, to be fair, that you'll say something that's not very nice to a woman because you don't agree with her argument. You're the type of fella that I don't want in the cab. So crack on, give your money to Uber, and we'll both stay happy. Alright? You take care.
Good morning. The sun is shining. Love it. Got a few days off in the week, but you can guarantee then it's going to rain. But I thought I'd start an attack in my garden. And then it came to my attention that Stockport Council is now going to charge for moving your garden waste. So they will take your food waste in your green bin, but if you've got garden waste, they're not going to take it unless you pay an extra £59 a year, which is on top of council tax. It's gone up anyway. They now want an extra £59 to take your garden waste. What is it? What? Why? And they say it's, they've got to watch the budget, they've got to save money somewhere. Not my garden, surely. So now, I'm going to take it to the tip, because they think they've got you by the short and curlies, and they really haven't, because I'll just take it to the tip, and I'm not paying it. So is anybody else, or any other borough, anywhere else, do they charge now for taking your garden waste? I'd like to know.
2 rip-off car parking issues at Bristol Airport.
We've come back from a fantastic 7-day holiday and cruise booked with TUI. And I don't know if anybody else is having the same problem or had the same problem. We booked Bristol Airport parking through TUI and had a letter. So we booked the cruise and the holiday in April 23. In October of that year, we had a letter to say that, or an email to say that the car park was being dug up or whatever. They were doing some works to the car park, but not to worry. They had no extra expense or inconvenience to ourselves, had moved us into the multi-storey car park. No problem. Then in December, they sent another email saying we've changed your flight to 8.
Which we never received.
Never received what?
No, well,
we did. We had an email to say that they'd moved our flight, and our flight was going to be 8 hours later. So we accepted that it was going to be 8 hours later. And on the letter it said, if you've booked parking, and you book through the TUI shop, you'd have to go down to the TUI shop to change your parking details. But if you booked online, which we did, we didn't need to take any further action, so we didn't. So we had a fantastic holiday, brilliant cruise, our first cruise ever, and we loved it. We got back to Bristol Airport at about midnight, having travelled from 8 o'clock in the morning. Got into Bristol Airport, went to the multi-storey car park to get the car back, got to the barrier and it wouldn't let us out. A message come up saying to phone the little man that lives in the box. So we made the call and he said, but he was so rude, he said basically you either pay £650, £650, I can't believe I'm saying that, you either pay £650, otherwise you stay there, because you're not leaving until you pay it. So we ended up having to stay there until about 1:30 in the morning. We were pleading, negotiating, arguing, begging. It wasn't getting anywhere, so we ended up staying there until 1:30, and in the end Andy said, we're going to have to pay it, we've got no choice, otherwise we're still going to be here. I don't know if you've noticed, but we're in our 60s and we kind of get tired and thought, right, okay, I don't want to play on the old age thing, but the fact is that there could have been children in the car, there could have been disabled people, and they did not give an absolute stuff. So we had no choice but to pay the £650 and then take it up with TUI or Holiday Extras. So then the battle commences. So I made a complaint to TUI. We went to the TUI shop actually in the morning, on the Saturday morning, to try and get some advice. And she advised us to make a complaint, which we'd kind of already done anyway. And she said, oh, I can see where it's gone wrong, you know, because Holiday Extras are the additional company that TUI used to book the car park or cancel it. And it was them that they had the notification from to say that they'd moved us. And then TUI said, she said, but they've paid you back the £72.99 for the car park. So what they did was, the sneaky little devils, is that at some point from April to the December, they had put £72.99 off, deducted it off our holiday, but didn't tell us. So we didn't notice it because the holiday was £4,700 with a cruise. It was a real treat for us to have that. So we've been paying it for a year. And because we'd paid £500 here, £1,000 there, and this, that and the other, we didn't notice the £72.99 that they had taken off the holiday without mentioning it to us. So she said, so because they've paid you back, that is in effect them saying, we've cancelled your parking. And I said, but they didn't send any correspondence at all to tell us that they'd cancelled our parking. So we, in good faith, turned up, dropped the car off, which they let us do, by the way, dropped the car off, went to pick it up in good faith, and then were faced with this whacking great bill. Well, so I spoke to Bristol Airport, who were very sorry and apologised, and I can't fault them, to be fair, because they really have been very good, and they got back on it straight away. So lovely lady called Ellie, give her due. She was, you know, very sorry and apologised, but it really isn't their issue. The issue is with TUI and TUI's company that they hire, called Holiday Extras. So
beware of booking anything on Holiday Extras with TUI.
Yeah, I mean, I personally wouldn't do that again.
No.
But TUI did phone me today and said they'd like to look into it. So I went through it with the girl on the other end of the phone, and she said, oh yeah, I can see where the problem is. She said she agreed that they'd sent us a letter saying that it was not cancelled, it had been moved to the multi-storey due to the works. And she also agreed that it didn't say on their letter that we had to do anything. So the follow-up letter in December didn't say anything at all. We didn't have to do anything. If they'd have told us that they cancelled it, we obviously would have booked it ourselves. You know, it wouldn't have been a problem.
That all got a taxi.
All got a taxi or whatever, you know. But
It certainly wouldn't have cost £650.
No, we could have gone there 3 times and back for that amount. But the fact is, we would have dealt with it, wouldn't we?
Yeah.
But we didn't, because the letters told us that we didn't have to. So we didn't. So where we are now is, I've just found out today that apparently it seems that there are many people that have been affected by this. So we're not the only ones, which actually doesn't make me feel any better, because it just makes me know that there's other people who are £650 out of pocket, which is such a lot of money. I mean, to us it's a lot of money and we're not poor. But to other people, I can't imagine the misery that, you know, the upset and anxiety that we've been through is enough. But for other people who aren't so well off as us, and we're not well off by any manner or means, I don't mean to say that we are, we're not, but, you know, we get by, but not every, you know, some people. Anyway, the long and the short is, now I know that there's lots and lots of other people that are involved. I'm going to put a plea out there for anybody that has been involved in this shocking and deceitful incident by Tui to contact me, message me on TikTok, because I don't think that we should take this lying down. I think we should do something to get our money back. You know, if there's several hundred people that have had to pay £650 in order to be released from Bristol Airport car park, that's a lot of money that somebody's having, that we can all ill afford, especially in today's climate. So if anybody wants to get in touch with me, I am going to be pressing this forward. I've contacted the BBC's Ripoff Britain, and they're going to send a reporter to me to talk to them about it. And I'm taking them on. I am absolutely not going to take this lying down. So if anybody would like to share their story, join this little band of merry men, then absolutely do so. No pressure, because either way I'm going to be doing it for ourselves anyway, but there's always a lot of safety in numbers, especially when you're dealing with a big company like TUI. So if anybody would like to get in touch with me, drop me a message. Let's see if we can get our money back and stop this absolutely shocking, deceitful behaviour by a huge multi-million pound company that are just simply going to town on the little people yet again.
We used to have value. You paid your money, you got something fair in return. Now it feels like you pay more and get less. And you're supposed to be grateful it's only that bad. Blighty hasn't just become expensive, it's become a very well-organised ripoff. And the joke is, it's not even funny anymore. Cheerio. Hopefully I will see you all again in the next video, if you can afford it.